Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Very excited. Today, I have been diving headfirst into Velopack, and it has been a glorious day, and I have been enjoying it. So, we are going to continue the fraught adventure that I have been on, and I will catch everyone up with what I've been doing, and then the end goal I think is going to be to get the material design demo app actually into Velopack. Like, I need to get some real world beta testing going, and so yeah, we're just gonna send it and see what happens. Worst case scenario, goes up in flames. Best case scenario, it works like a charm. We're going for best case scenario. Okay, so let me catch up to where we are at. I figure out how to drive here. Let's go here. Okay, so here's the game plan. Here's the game plan. So for starters, for anybody who's unfamiliar with it, Velopack, company I'm a founder of, you can go to velopack.io, blah blah blah. You can find this stuff. The short version, it is a cross-platform installer slash updater framework. It aims to be easy to use with broad language support, but it is targeting thick client applications, right? If you were building a web app or a mobile app, you probably don't need this installer, right? That there's other distribution ways for you to go for it. This is a way of improving and making it a little bit nicer. So that's what we're working on. There is the library, the installer, all that stuff, open source. You can go hit the repo, powwow, have fun. Please feel free to open issues, pull requests, all that kind of jazz. But behind the scenes, what's actually out there, this is the secrets. This is the secret sauce. Um, so there's this thing we've been working on called Velopack Flow, because it's nice that you can build an installer. It's nice that it's got an easy update thing, but the part that's kind of missing is the hosting. Now, Velopack, the open source portion of it, comes with a variety of update source built in. You can push it up to GitHub, GitLab, uh, S3 compatible buckets, and there's like two or three that I'm probably forgetting. But it gives you a way to push your updates out there somewhere and host them, which is good, right? And if you want to host it yourself, have at it. But Velopack Flow aims to do a lot of the extra cloud stuff. And there's a handful of features and whatnot that we are going to be implementing sort of exclusively in Flow, because when we own the back end, there's a lot more we can do. So, short version, when you own the whole stack, you can do cool things. So, that is what Velopack Flow is. And so, we are going to try to get an implementation all the way into here. But if we take a look at this, so I've got this kind of demo app I put together. It's a simple Avalonia app using Velopack. I've pushed some updates out. If I click in on this, you can see that I've got this tier way down, right? And I can say, no, I want 50% of my users to be getting this release. That way I can kind of slowly walk this thing out as I go, right? If we dial down into here, I'm mildly concerned that all of these things are showing zeros. That one's back up. Did I botch something? I was literally just working on this earlier, so there's a real chance I botched something. This should not be showing zero for everything. But I was also playing around with multiple databases, and there's a good chance I got my wires crossed. Regardless, so these releases should be dialed all the way up. That one's all the way up. There might be something weird going on that I'm just unfamiliar with. Okay. That's better, right? So I was testing my delete. So that's, if you're wondering what happened to number 2, yeah, it got to be tested on the delete use case. Delete works. What a shock. But if you install this, you can go through and then control how many users get it. Now here's the hard part. We don't know anything about users, right? Like, you as a developer may build an app and ship it with Velopack, but the number of people who install your app, that's kind of arbitrary. So the idea here is, if we look at the core library, there's these various, so update manager is kind of where everything starts for the APIs as far as getting things going, but you can feed in different update sources, right? So this is the key thing. The one that I'm most focused on is the Velopack flow update source. What a shock. It goes to the flow service. And this staging ID here is being passed as a string, but it's functionally a GUID, right? If we walk our way backwards up into Update Manager, where it actually gets this staged user ID, and take a look at it. By default, all it's going to do is create a beta.id file, and it's just going to shove a GUID into it. That's it. It's no more complicated than that. It's real difficult, right? It pushes this in. And if you're using Velopack already, this has existed already on the C# side for a while, which is great, right? That kind of came over from Cloud Squirrel when we rebranded it, which is fine, except for nothing was really consuming it. It was just something that was there. When we built Flow, what we did is we said, okay, if I take that GUID and I hash it, and then I like modulus 100 it, I now have a number between 0 and 99 that tells me, okay, where did this user's GUID fall on a number line? And functionally, the way this tiered rollout works is if I set this to say 40%, if your GUID's hash mod 100 lands you in the bottom 40%, you get the update. If your modulus lands you between say 41 and 99, you don't get the update. That's as complicated as it is. But it gives people a way to effectively say, okay, I want to put this release out, but I don't really want all my users getting it. I want to shrink my blast radius, and I want to monitor for a little bit, and then maybe I'll push it to a few more, and then a few more, and then a few more, right? And then whatever it is. So for now, it's just this in terms of updating it. We're going to add some more CLI options likely at some point, or people can always hit the API. Like, right? Like I got a full swag. Like if people want to like write your own integrations, like there's a full Swagger page. Have at it, right? Not well documented, but most of the things you can probably guess your way through. Hopefully, it's named appropriately. We're calling this beta, at least for now. So yeah, so this is the tiered rollout bits. So we got that. Yeah, exactly, Kenny. Being able to, especially being able to say 40%. The interesting thing here, this idea here is based under the assumption that the hash codes of GUIDs are going to be roughly evenly distributed. That's kind of the premise under how this works. And I think it's a reasonable premise, but I can't prove it. That's a hard thing to prove that is actually a viable thing. Because it does mean if you set it to 40% and you have 10 users, it may not mean that 4 out of 10 get it. Right? Because randomness is going to play a factor. It'll probably be in that range, but it could be 2, could be 6. Don't know. Right? So it's all on those random hashes. No, so what's actually happening here, and we can demonstrate this on my API actually. We'll just demonstrate because we can actually just run this. Come on, go! Feed the unicorns. Let's pull stuff in. Okay. Oh, I thought I said API. Take me to the API. Okay. So if I authorize myself here real quick. Oh, interesting. It doesn't actually have the client ID pre-populated anymore. Well, regardless, we can kind of find our way in since it doesn't this endpoint doesn't require authorization. Where is my download manifest? Okay, so I need a package ID and a channel ID. So in this case, if we go back here, so my channel is just going to be Win for Windows. And then my package ID, let's see here. Where does it show it to me? There it is. There's my package ID. See, I just built it. I don't remember where all this stuff goes. And then here's your staging ID, right? So if we just do a staging ID of A, right, and I hit execute, Okay, so I'm getting back version 101, 103, 104, 105. Right? So I landed inside of this 40% case. If I dial this thing way down to 5%, I probably don't get 105 anymore. Find out. Wow, it still managed to land on it. Let's change my thing up, because if I do that, this is now giving me pause. This is now giving me great pause. Thing is, I wrote a test over this. Okay, we're gonna change this up, because it really doesn't matter what the staging ID is. I'm just surprised at 5% I'm getting it all the way in. It's now making me question how well this thing is actually lining up. Did I help you find a bug? Well, this is the feature I'm literally building right now. So, is it a bug? Probably, because it's in an area that I thought was done. But I'm like, the feature's not done yet. So, when we implement a bug bounty, yes. Kind of want to just pop this, grab my dev tools here real quick, and I just kind of want to take a quick gander. When you drag this sucker across, it's landing there. I guess now the question is, why does this not work the way I expect? Okay, well, let's circle back to this in a moment, because we'll dive in on this. Okay. So that is the implementation for generating that ID and passing it all the way through. The problem is we have more than one SDK, right? So that was the C# one, but we have C++, uh, Rust, and JavaScript, I think, are the ones that we're going for. And I think I have foobarred something. So I am not apparently good at Rust. I know, shocker to people. But I am learning, and I am getting slowly more dangerous. Cargo check. Oh, I didn't run. Okay, so because I was just running cargo build release, and this passed. It was great, but apparently that's what I should be running. Right. So what I have been attempting to do is adding in the same staged user ID into the Rust side of the fence. The C++ and JavaScript is kind of cheater SDKs, because they're kind of just wrappers around Rust. Haha. So I need to start running the other ones. Let's see. So manager Rust 250. Okay. I mean, I'm looking at the error. I can kind of guess what it is. Get release feed. I added a new parameter to, so that's not going to work. Oh, I see. Okay, got it. Because feature async. See, this is the stuff about Rust that I am slowly learning. I implemented one but did not do the other, because okay. I'm with you now. I'm with you. I got to actually do both, not just one. Okay. That is why I did not see it on the other one. Okay, so we do that. That should fix that error. Let's see here. 241. Okay, I think that may have just been the same error. Let's. Okay, so what did I? I'm still trying to learn my way through all this. Okay, so manager 250. What are you unhappy about? Spawn blocking. Oh, I passed it in the wrong place. It should actually be here. Yeah, okay. Let's see here. Is a reference that is only valid in the body of the method. Got it. So I actually have this is the Rust ownership thing that I'm still working on understanding, where everything must be managed. I think I do this. I think I do this. Because this is one of the best and worst things about Rust. The first test is the compiler. Let's see. Escapes the method body. Requires that one must outlive static. So this gets in here. Let's call the lifetime of this reference backtick 1. That is only valid inside the reference body. Okay, I'm with you. Stage user ID escapes the method body here. Okay. When in doubt, Copilot, fix this. Oh, dear heavens, Copilot. No, no, no. That is not the problem. I wish I knew how in my editor to turn on the async feature flag so that it would do the right thing. Okay, let's go back to where we were, and I think this redeclaring. Yeah, so it's the same problem, just with a new name. And then must outlive static. Okay. Borrowed data escapes outside of the method. So I am. Hey, Deflux. Yeah. Currently trying to get this last little bit of this Rust working so that I can move back into the C# happy land place where I would prefer to be. Yeah, well, so Kenny, I would say that it's similar, but unlike C where you have constant memory problems, Rust just doesn't, because it forces you to, and I'm going to see if I can get my terminology correct. The owner of a reference is very, very important to it, right? So, unlike C, you don't get the memory problems. Now, it is kind of ugly, but it interops with like C++ and whatnot really nice, and it's bloody fast. I will give it that. It is really bloody fast. But yes, has constant other problems. Yes, I will not disagree with that. There are like I am very much we'll call this a learner at it. Okay, so what we can do is here. How can I fix the borrowed data escaping side of the method? Oh, pointer type syntax and the flashbacks begin. I know. You can use async move. That does not feel correct. I'm going to hit accept just so I can look at the diff. I'm fairly confident that that is wrong, but yeah. Problem is I don't fully understand that. because I believe this is the rusty equivalent of a lambda in C#, if I was guessing. Oh, stand by, folks. Let's see. Really got to get Okay. There we go. And I'm going to go with no. And it did change that on me. User ID, because I realize this is what's biting me. The band hammer's been swung. There we go. Okay. So that now is all green. Hey, King Merlin. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. Okay, so that really the only... No. That's literally the only delta. Okay. So attempting to fix borrowed data in async. Okay, my big head is in the way. Fling. Let me change. Okay. Oh, I wanted to show one thing off. Okay, so I need to open up a metric ton of files here because this is something people should know about. So ignore the files. The actual files don't matter. Okay, so I've opened up a bunch of files, right? And we've got the standard little got the standard little expander over here to go see all the stuff I have open. If you put your cursor up here and you go down mouse wheel, multiple rows, up mouse wheel, down, up, this is... You can have the benefit of multiple rows when you're looking for the tab, and then you can just mouse wheel up, and then they go away. Ooh, Velopack to have better support for Maui. So it should work just fine for Maui. I'm all about those vertical tabs. I can't fault you too much, Deflux. I've tried them once or twice. I just can't get used to them. But yes, no, this feature, it's the little things that made me so happy. I saw this and I was like, this is gold. When you're looking for Maui support, are you thinking mobile or are you thinking just cross-platform desktop? Because cross-platform desktop should work. If it doesn't, we'll go do ourselves a Maui sample and I'll prove to myself it does. But there are a number of sample apps that I want to build with Velopack. I did carry a bunch of stuff to make it work. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Like the switches I had to carry. Switches you had to carry. Interesting. I assume that's potentially related to the when you're talking about doing the CLI with like the VPK pack or similar. Because there are a handful of things like that, especially if you're trying to embed it. And I think that's actually, so this is both one of the best and worst. So don't make fun of me, right? So this big pretty button that says create new project, yeah, it doesn't do anything. Windows API and the EXE was like 400 meg. Ah. Got it. Got it. So I'm curious on so the runtime identifiers and the app SDK self-contained. I don't know that that's necessarily Velopack. I'm curious. Like, were you doing that because you were trying to avoid the framework switch um, to bootstrap the environment? Because to some degree that's Maui and the Windows App SDK and WinUI, etc. Ah, okay. .NET Maui package Windows. There's a guy here because this is the unfortunate part, right? Is Microsoft pushes you uh pushes you to do this. Yeah. And it just install rather than it show, hey, go download this SDK. Yeah. So that is less a Velopack issue and more an issue of WinUI. Because it tries to get like if you try to launch a WinUI app, ignoring Maui completely for the moment, without the desktop runtime, you get bit by that same problem where the user's prompted to install the framework just to make it work, right? Yeah, and Maui is built on top of WinUI. Like this is one of the things that gets really complicated, and people go back and forth on whether they like this because the Uno platform did the same thing, right? They're built on top of WinUI as well, so they have a real vested interest in making sure that it's good. Because in both cases, there's kind of your common code, a translation layer, and then the native app. Um, and you just get hosed with the WinUI side of the fence at times because if there is a bug or anything related to it, you, your platform then eats that on top of it. So yeah, I don't know of a better option to tell you, right? Like because your choices are either the user has to be prompted to install the needed runtime, or you have to take the runtime with you, in which case then you get the massive 400 meg size problem, which is kind of sucky all the way around. Like it is very sucky. Uh, but I couldn't get it to work. Oh, interesting. Okay, trying to think. I don't know that I have a sample, but if we get through stuff tonight, let me make sure that's actually on my backlog. So drag this over here real quick where I can click on a few things that I don't really want to put up on the screen. But .NET Maui, because I think we should really put in a like it carried the wrong runtime. Ah, yeah. Let me. I don't think I can do it tonight because I have to log into some VPNs. But I think I might have a sample of using Maui Blazor hybrid, but it shouldn't matter. Yeah, that really doesn't make a difference in terms of packaging it. It just means you've got an extra dependency sitting in there. But yeah, I've got a note here, Deflux. Let me look and see what I can come up with because I think I have a sample somewhere that I can pull, but I'm trying to remember what platforms it's being compiled for. It might only be being compiled for Android and iOS, but I thought there was a Windows one as well. I'll check it. And we will find out. Okay, that pushed. I want this here, and this has my latest thing on here. Yeah. Oh, we are so close. Well, on a positive note, everything worked except for Windows. That doesn't make me feel good. Okay, what I screw up? And these ones don't really count, right? So here's the dirty secret. When one of these fails, we automatically cancel the others to save on build minutes. So like, yeah, Windows failed, but the other ones got canceled, so they might have failed too. Who knows? Um, process cannot access. What the heck? Huh? Huh? Microsoft, did you just? I think Microsoft shot itself in the foot. Is that even a file in our? Yeah, that's not even a file in our solution. That's generated. What the heck? Okay, what I heard is rerun failed jobs. Yeah, send it. Yeah, our pipeline's getting a little ridiculous. This is both a good and a bad thing. Like, it's mildly problematic because it raises the bar for contributions really high. Because for somebody to actually get their stuff compiling in a lot of cases requires you to have Rust toolchain, .NET toolchain, be able to do multiple platform development. Like the bar for entry on this repo, even though it's open source, is kind of high. There's been a handful of people that have submitted stuff and it's been like, whoa, congrats. Okay, let's get that thing rocking and rolling. Let's go over here. Okay, so I really want to test Velopack out on this. Having a fancy GitHub pipeline is kind of like having a dope pipe to smoke on the 1920s. It is. It is. And I get this little dopamine hit every time I see a cool pipeline because it's like my minions. My minions are doing things. And it makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Okay, so Velopack. So step one, I am going to go in here and I am going to, so the UI for this, if anybody wants to play with this. So here's a dirty trick. If anybody wants to play with Velopack, specifically Velopack Flow, like this is open. It's public. You can go play with it. There is a free tier that is out here, right? Like this is a thing. There's only one thing on here that's not mentioned yet. There's going to be a bandwidth cap because otherwise the free tier could burn me out if somebody puts like a hugely popular app. What's up, Izzy? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Technically, yesterday was my Friday at work because I took today and tomorrow off so that I could work on Velopack stuff. So I've had fun. I've been coding all day, but I've been coding for me, which made it fun. So yeah, but if people want to go play with Flow, please do. Like try it out. I will say there are some rough edges for sure. And specifically when you go to make a project, you kind of have to know to ignore the big yellow button that says create new project. Yeah, the big obvious place for you to click. Yeah, don't click there. Yeah, go up here instead. All right. So if we go to the team, default team, and in this case, we want to go through and create a project and then package ID. So this is going to be MDIX. I think we're going to go demo app MD2. Let's see. Material design in XAML demo app MD2. That's a very long name. Part-timers, there's no time for holidays, weekend sleep. Oh, right. So you can only create projects in a single free tier team. Yeah, right. About that minor little detail. We're going to just fix that really quick because it turns out when you own the company, you can do stuff. So I just need that little GUID. Whoop. Because I have access to go and muck with. Okay. And then I would like to. Very boring for just a moment while I deal with Sorry, I just got to bump myself. Left. Yes. Oh. I need to change my. See. What are the odds of that? That, and now I just. I just need to grab the right GUID. Subscription plan. I am just going to promote myself really quick. You'll note when you want to have fun, my custom plan. I thought I was being funny. Some people may disagree with me. Let's see. Custom. Oh, and then now if I go here, actually, I think what I want to do is look at my teams. Custom Pro. Let's see. Could Velopack deploy embedded Linux systems have been battling to get OTA and local updates working on a thing? Ooh, not yet. Not yet, Izzy. Linux has got a lot of different deployment mechanisms, which make it difficult. And I guess I should clarify that. It depends a little bit on if you're looking for like an automated Xcopy deploy type situation, it'll work great for that. But on a lot of those embedded ones, some of the stuff that we leverage is just not going to work. Yeah, we do have Linux support, right? So there is here, but like an embedded Linux is going to be a little bit different. And honestly, if people want to test on that, I would love that. Because that is an area that is not as well tested. Okay, so now I want to go through and create a project. Okay, so what did we say? MDIX, demo app, MD2. So for people doing package IDs, just be aware these have to be unique, like globally across all user systems. So don't do something simple. Right now, Flow doesn't enforce any amount of complexity, but long term, we're gonna try to push people to make these reasonably complex. These are like your app identifiers for like iOS and Android, where it's like these have to be unique in the store. These things have to be unique on a user system. So technically, it's okay if two apps have the same package ID until one user wants to install both of them. Then it's not okay. Let's see. Let's just do MDIX demo app MD2. Keep it simple. There. Okay, and then I'm going to need a channel. We'll just do Windows. Okay, there we go. So that's all the setup we need. Project, channel, good to rock. Now we go back to our demo app and we go here and we go NuGet packages. And it will be important to grab pre-release. The stuff that's latest on Flow does need the pre-release of Velopack. So we are going to grab latest. There is a build package that gives you .NET build support. It is a little out of date and needs some updating love. So it's there and forthcoming. See, X copy with a pre-run script. We're good. I just need to extract an ex4 archive, but during updates, I only need to extract a single path to a location to which partition number is mounted for the roots. Yeah, is he single path to a location defined by which partition number is mounted? Yeah. You almost might be better off, yeah, with your own bootstrapper, but wow. Some people do things on hard mode. Izzy is one of them. And while we're in here, let's rev some packages. If we're gonna rev some packages, let's go ahead and do it, just to make it easy. Okay, so that I want to make sure I've gotten. If I'm revving packages, I should rev them all. Yeah, see, I was worried about that. I revved them on the demo app NuGet thing and not on all, and now I'm going to get some differences. Okay, go here. Ooh, come on. I know you're going to have updates because I see the consolidate one going. Let's see here. How much is in here? Nothing major. Let's rev them. I would say they give me the big bucks, but sadly they don't. Yeah. I will say, Izzy, it does sound like sometimes you get fun projects, though. There's something to be said for that. Or at least technologically interesting projects. Whether that's true or not, it might be irrelevant, but or they always sound interesting. Yeah, big bucks that's a good question, Deflux. So I will caution Deflux on one thing. Geographic location makes a huge difference. I was recently poking around and like European areas, and like United States, working remote in the U.S. Okay, so there are a handful of companies that pay based upon where you live. I should say that's probably the majority. There are some that just have flat, hey, this is what we're going to pay for this rate. But what I've seen a lot of companies do is they break the U.S. into different areas. It's like, hey, if you are working in, Southern California, you get a higher pay rate than if you're working in the middle of Kansas or thereabouts, right? But yeah, Deflux, do you mind sharing like your current title or rough level of where you're at? I could probably give you a range of where I would expect it to be in the U.S. Okay, we did add Velopack. I started a new job on Monday. Oh wow, so this is very fresh. Okay. Okay, and now I want to go and grab the docs because as part of this, I want to actually test my docs at the same time. Software dev since 2021. Okay, so 4-ish years, 125. I'm going to go with, if I was guessing, that sounds to me like somewhere between lowish, like depending on what the company is and how many levels that they have. If we assume 5 levels, I would guess that you're probably in like the 3-ish range. So around a mid tier, upper entry, lower mid, maybe in that vicinity. It depends, right? Like there's a lot of factors that go into it, like what type of stuff that you're doing. But 4 years of experience, Yeah, I'm guessing that's probably so. I'd say your title is probably like. I'd be surprised if it had the word senior in it, but I have seen senior salaries drop as low as 120s, 130s before. Most of the time, seniors are slightly higher than that. That would be my guess. So, but for 4 years, I've been a senior dev since 2022. And here we see the problem with titles is they don't mean anything to a lot of people. Yeah. Yeah. Is that your title, Deflux, if you don't mind me asking, like senior software developer or something of that nature? I'm guessing it's somewhere in that vicinity. Okay, so I don't remember if we have a. I have no clue what my title is. Well, now, so I'm going to say super senior. That is. That's not a bad thing, though. That's not a bad thing. Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, a lot of it depends on where you're located. Like I know if I moved because I'm in Washington State, but I am not the Seattle side. I'm the other side. And I know if I move to the other side of the state, my salary goes up by probably like 20 grand. But my cost of living also skyrockets. So there's a it's one of those things where it's like sometimes when comparing salaries, it's important to keep geographic location in mind. Um, and often background or set of skills I think are usually some of the biggest factors. Don't like you fail upwards. Senior software engineering lead. Izzy, what I think you need is like one more line at like an extra word added to the end of that. Yeah, yeah, Deflux. I can't blame you there. My wife is from Ohio and she misses it. Okay, so I want to go here. I want to go here, and I want to look and see. I don't think we did a custom main. Um, but I think we're gonna drop one in here. I just want to make sure we didn't actually add one. Yeah, I don't see a custom main in here, so we're gonna put one in. Okay. Let's see here. Do we? I don't think we're gonna do a logger. I probably should, but no, we're not gonna do a logger. Let's see. With first run, we don't need any of this garbage. That goes away. Okay, and then we're gonna do this. Do this. Honestly, we don't really need the try catch. This is a demo app. If something goes wrong on startup, I'm kind of okay with it crashing. Yeah. Super senior software. Yeah, I will say that there is a thing like you get to a certain level, like usually software architect or somewhere is near the top for a lot of companies. Like if it's Microsoft, it's technical fellow, or you get really high up there. But usually it's, you know, after senior, sometimes people have like principal software developer, and then maybe there's something else in there. And then you kind of top out in terms of if you want to be the guy actually cutting code. After that, you start moving into, uh, yeah, we'll say management and paperwork. That's probably a fair way of putting it. You end up getting a little more of that, a little more of running people rather than otherwise. Okay, so WPF application custom main method. We need a set startup object. See, I remember some of this stuff, mostly because I wrote this thing. And this is going to be this guy here. So this is only needed when you want to do a custom main method in WPF. And the only reason we're doing a custom main method rather than just dropping this Velopack code inside of on startup here, which technically would work. When Velopack does updates, it needs to restart the application and needs to check things on startup. The problem is it may restart your app. So if you do it late in the process, you take the hit of your app and all of the stuff starting up only for Velopack to reboot it. So ideally, you want this call early, like first line of main type early, so you don't waste your time doing stuff when you don't need to. Let's see here. I'm trying to remember if I need to do this or not. Oh, you do need to do this to force the otherwise the built-in stuff for WPF will generate a main method. We should probably item group. If you don't do this, WPF's compiler, the app.xaml, will gen you a main method behind the scenes. So that warrants a comment. We do this because we are setting a custom main method with the startup object property above. Let's see. This prevents WPF from generating a default main method. There we go. Something like that, something like that, something like that. Okay. And this is technically all we need to do to get Velopack plugged in. But we probably want to be able to like let the user check for updates, prompt them for updates, something of that nature. Right? So this is where it's like Velopack as the installer, done. Right? But installing the app is usually only half the story. Like, you can install V1 of the app, great, but if you can't get V2 onto the system, what's the point? So I'm kind of thinking we do something here. I'm thinking something in this vicinity. Might make for a good use of the badge too. That might be a nice thing to do, because I think that there is in the main window view model. I think it's where that lives. Let's look, because I think that load versions, yeah. On move next. This gets all the stuff. Demos items filter. Because there's the NuGet versions getting populated there. So we could put it in here. So let's do that. Let's see. So relay command, private void check for updates. Well, I like to prefix it with on. Okay, so the update path for Velopack is not overly complicated. So the sample app doesn't use MVVM. It tries to keep things simple. But the short version is you need yourself an update manager. And you can do and hold on to this. Update requirements. Format hard drive, reinstall Windows, install my app. Those are... Yeah. I don't know if we're going to get that far, Izzy. That's... We'll say a special set of requirements. Oh, so I'm just going to do this. Private, read-only, update manager. Right? And we're going to go update manager. And I think we can actually just instantiate right here. New Velopack. Let's see, Velopack sources. Velopack flow update source. Boom, 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 boom. Done. Okay. Trying to decide. We'll just add the using. Okay, there we go. So now down here, what we can do is Uh, let's see. Private bool can check for updates because we we cannot actually check for updates unless we are an installed application. Is installed. There. So if we're not an installed app, we can't check for updates. So can execute gets name of and check for updates. And then if this is the case, we're going to go with update manager. Check for updates async. Var update. All right, and this guy here, get rid of that var. Explicit type. Oh, we got to await this sucker. Async task. There we go. To some degree, I can kind of cheat a little bit because this is just the demo app. But we'll try to make it look realish. And then if we have an update, question then is how do we want to notify the user? I'm thinking we put a badge up here, and then we pop something down here. Kind of my thinking. So let's do something like maybe I guess we could actually just bind the thing straight up. Observable property, private, update info, update, maybe. Yeah, how does Velopack identify if the app was installed? Wix uses the Windows registry. Great question. So I can just show you. So over here, if we go and with the locator, so it's going to vary a little bit depending on platform, obviously, because there's a bit of a check that ends up going in here. But it ends up going through and looking to see if it finds an installed app at the appropriate location that matches, right? It's looking for a manifest, effectively, to be able to say, is this a real installed app? Because if I pick on my, right, so that demo app that I had here, right, there's not the temp directory, but we've actually got this package that's in here that it can then pull the manifest out of, because even though these things are, copy paste real quick, right? Even though we're using the NuGet package, right? At the end of the day, NuGet packages are just zip files, so you can always rename them. But inside of here, you actually have the manifest that can go through and parse. That's what it's ending up looking for when it's attempting to parse the stuff out. So yeah, so it's not actually leveraging the registry to know if it's installed, and then obviously OS X and Linux are going to be slightly different, similar but different in terms of where it's going to end up looking. But the locators are where these are in here. The other thing that you can do is the locator is actually just an interface, and if you want to provide your own to the update manager, you absolutely can. So that's the part that I probably need to make some videos or write some extra docs on it. That breaks if you have the installed version and then run debug version in VS. Oh, probably. I might need to double check because I didn't think I saw that with my test app. But yes, it may very well cause me some issues. So we're going to test it. Because that's part of what I want to actually hammer out on all this stuff is, like, even though Cloud Squirrel is fairly well tested, it, like, there's enough stuff around this flow and all of this stuff that it has not been overly battle tested. And every time I put it under a microscope, I find one more thing. That's part of why I want to put this app out in flow, is because I want to actually battle test it a little bit, because that's going to make me feel a lot better. So we're going to just do this. When you check for updates, it's literally just going to do that and then assign the update. And I think what we're going to do is, there's no reason to block that. Okay, and then we're going to need another relay command for actually installing the update. Right, so private async task on apply update. Right, and so then this one down here is going to be private bool can apply update. And this one is literally just going to be if update is not null. Right, and so then this guy here needs to notify can execute changed for name of apply update command. That way, as we change this, this guy will toggle and fire this. And then this is going to be update manager. Apply update. Okay. Don't be an idiot like me. So you'll note there are two methods here, right? One is called apply updates and exit. One is called apply updates and restart. I called apply updates and exit and then was confused why my app didn't start. It turns out if you call the method labeled exit, it exits. Big brain right there. So don't be like me. Call the right method. Right? And then we need to give it the update. And at this point I'm gonna just do a bang and call it a day. Oh, I guess this actually can be void. That method is not async because it's going to trigger process start reboots. Okay. Let's see. What are you squawking about? Use expression body for method. Nah. No, I know I could, but no. No, I feel like these are better left as statements. Okay. So that's all the functionality. Now let's do the UI bits for it. The fun parts. Okay, so main window. And I think what I want to do is, let's see, so the drawer host, dialog host, this is the left drawer. There's the color zone, so the drop down is going to be a pop-up box here. Yeah, this guy. Because that contains all the stuff. So we'll do the thing on the inside here. But I think what I want to do is I want to do a badge. Right? So I want to do this. I think I want to put a little red indicator around this guy when there's an update, which means you are no longer the thing in the dock panel. You are the thing in the dock panel. We're going to do that. And then what is the property on the badge control? I don't use it enough. Do I not have a show hide? Do I just change out the content from null? Is that the idea? I guess we just change this. I guess we could toggle the foreground too if we wanted. Because I kind of want the material design badge. Nope. Badge, and I want to set a pack icon on it because I feel like what I really want is a little bell. I believe is what I'm going for. Kind and bell. Yeah, I think bell is a good one. Let me look. Let's just double check that. Bell. Yeah. It's going to be small, so I don't know if the bell alert is a good call. Yeah, there may be an argument for bell outline, but we'll just start with bell. We'll see how that looks. See? It's not bad. And then I think what I want to do is badge background red, right? Should we go with the obnoxious fuchsia? Suppose we could. Does red make sense? Maybe we should go with a theme brush. Because we could like accent color it, right? Maybe we should do the accent brush on this and call it a day. Yeah, it's probably better. Let's see. Material design. No. Stop it. Stop it. Stop helping me. Let's see. Where's that palette? So I think we go here. I think these are the two brushes I want. I want this for the background, and then I want the other one for the foreground, just to guarantee that there's always good contrast. Let's see. Foreground. And then we're going to grab this one. There, that's not bad. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways, Copilot. Yeah, exactly. That's not bad. I can get behind that. Okay. Now we've got a badge. We're gonna need to obviously toggle it, but we'll come back to that in a moment. Let's go through and add in the buttons down below. Well, maybe we should deal with the toggle right now. So I guess we trigger it based on the presence of the update property. Yeah, I think we do that. So let's do this. So we will do a style with a data trigger, I think. Well, those people who haven't seen it, style, target type, that, and then this is very, very important. When you do a style like this, you want to base it on the existing style that's out there. If you don't, you are replacing the style wholesale and you're giving up everything the library had applied for you. So we're going to start there. And in our case, we just want to trigger. Right? So we're going to go here, data trigger, binding, update, value, and then you have to compare against a constant, so we compare against null. And so in the case of null, we're going to go setter, property, and then we want to set the badge property value to null. That way it goes away. We might set a couple more things here as well, but the problem is you can try to set this in a trigger all day long, but we have an explicit assignment here, so that's not going to work. We have to put something that's at an equivalent level. Do that. Set our value, and then we're just going to bring this sucker on up. Stop it. I don't trust Copilot. It feels too much like a Sith for me. It only seems to deal in absolutes, and most of the times it is absolutely wrong. Yeah, I will say it is getting better, and the new Copilot agent that they just launched, like, it's one of those things that when Copilot first launched, it felt like a parlor trick. And Copilot agent kind of feels a little bit that way to me right now. It feels like a parlor trick. Like, yeah, it's being billed as it could do all of this great stuff, but it's like, yeah, it's wrong a lot. But Copilot slowly started to get better, and I kind of anticipate the same thing with Copilot Agent. I suspect it won't be a terribly long period of time before it actually gets pretty good. Hoping. Okay, so there's that. That'll toggle. We may go one step further too, right? And even go as far as to set like a tooltip or something. Get creative later. Get creative later. That's some new thing? Yes. Uh, uh, this the announcement. This the one that just dropped? No. This thing. Uh, this guy. Yeah, February 6th. Yeah, this guy right here. It is some new thing. This is the problem with AI too, is it moves really bloody fast. If I didn't have people around me who were effectively finding all the news stuff and then like feeding it into me, I would have no idea. The big difference here is rather than Copilot being like this chat bot where it's kind of a I ask you respond, I ask you respond type situation. This is more like it's like having an intern. A dumb intern who's memorized the documentation. That's what it's like. Having a dumb intern who memorized the docs. That's what it, but it can do stuff. So you can tell it to do things, and then it will actually iterate on itself to try to accomplish the task. So I think the demo shows off like writing unit tests or something, where it actually tries to go through and do it. So yeah, and again, it's one of those. It feels parlor tricky to me at the moment because a lot of the demos I see are usually small and confined. Of I've got this simple little app. It does one little thing, and it's not great, right? But it got a lot better to where I use it consistently. So I have a feeling this is going to get there too. No, I believe this is it is available in preview. So I think you have to pull VS Code preview as well, if I remember right, in order to get it. But yes, if you are willing to run preview bits, this is available to play with today. You also need a Copilot subscription, or I think you can run it on the free tier, but the free tier has like a limited amount of stuff you get. I don't remember the pricing model for this. Yeah, so you need VS Code Insiders and then GitHub Copilot, the pre-release version of the GitHub Copilot extension. And then you are good to go. Yeah, this is the other scary part. Using your voice. That's just like, that adds a layer of, I suspect that we are not that far away from the point where I have one computer sitting next to me where I tell Copilot to go do something, and then I do the real work on my main machine. And when it thinks it's done, just like a real intern, I check its work, and then I give it the next task. Like I kind of suspect we are moving that direction where when I've got mundane work, the secondary machine is to give Copilot a workspace where it can hammer away at things, where I do the real work on my actual machine. I suspect we are heading that direction where it's like that thing. I will say the other comment I read the other day that actually got me thinking, and I don't remember where I saw it, but there was someone else online who made a comment about senior engineers come about because junior engineers and interns learned and got to that point, right? However they learned, whether that be a mentor or on their own or whatever, right? They started somewhere. And if you get rid of all of those ones and you don't have your junior engineers anymore, it's kind of like when birth rates fall. And then there's a period of time where it's like, yeah, we don't have people to replace the workforce because, birth rates were low for, the last decade or something. It feels like the industry may do a bit of that where it's like, oh yeah, we don't need junior developers. It's like, no, you do. You absolutely do, because you need to train that, like, you need to have a pipeline to keep staffed senior engineers, because at some point they're going to leave or retire or something, and then you need someone to replace that senior engineer. So there's that weird thing where it's like, it's nice to say it's going to get rid of the juniors, but that's not a long-term solution, because unless it replaces all developers, like, And I know Copilot and AI is getting good, but like I don't see it replacing all development. I see it replacing a lot of boilerplate, which I'm fine with. I would prefer to not write boilerplate. Like I would not mind on this feature being able to say, "Hey, put a button here. I want it to do this," and have it churn it out for me. Like I don't mind that much, right? Leave the complicated stuff to me. You can go do that type of thing. But at the end of the day, you're still going to need someone to check that AI's work. It's going to need to do something. Yeah, deflux fire away. I definitely do not mind. I get, you may find this about me, I get derailed a lot. And I don't mind rabbit trailing, especially if it's an interesting question for somebody. So fire away. Okay. I was going to put in some buttons here. I think we're going to go below the NuGet versions. Go here. I think is what we're going to do. And we're going to go with button, content, check for updates. Let's see. Oh boy. If you had to choose which car you were going to put your office inside, boy. Portable office. Okay, so confession time. Like, I've been in a limo once, and it was for like 10 minutes. It was my grandparents', I don't know, like 60th or 70th wedding anniversary. And they had rented them a limo and they had done this big surprise for their wedding anniversary. And when the limo showed up, my grandparents weren't ready. So all of the grandkids were effectively taking turns hanging out in the limo. So that is the sum total of my experience inside of a limo. Um, I assume this guy has like stow and go seating in the back because I think the key thing for me, like if I had a mobile office, I'm not driving and deving at the same time, obviously. Yeah, I guess that really, so for me, I'm over 6 foot tall. It would come down to me on head clearance at the end of the day. I think if I had to pick, I would go with whichever one gave me the most head clearance. And it may be counterintuitive, but it might be the town car. Yeah, would likely need to be renovated. Yeah, I'd be going, but I guess what I would be looking for is because I'm imagining I'm sitting in a seat and I probably have keyboard tray or something that pulls out from the side in front of me over the top. And I think for me that's what it would make the biggest difference is the headroom clearance and how comfortable I could sit there. The Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like the town car has a bit of an advantage. Depending on how it's already set up. Where's the inside? Yeah, show me the inside. I want to see the back. The interesting bits. Yeah. Yeah, because you take the second row seats out and then renovate the inside to have a nice setup. Lincoln there already has it. You click the other images. The navigator does? Oh, look at that. Dang. Yeah, these two seats would get whacked and this whole wall would become a setup. Yeah, that doesn't look horrible. Yeah, if I'm ignoring all other things, I feel like this setup, I assume this is the back set of seats. Yeah, me personally, I would be like again, if money and time were nothing to be factored in, I would be like, and I like bigger arms and to kind of spread myself out. I would be knocking this middle guy out, moving the seat towards the middle, and giving myself more side area to play with. But yeah, and that navigator doesn't look bad at all. Yeah. I'm thinking that's the one that maybe looks a little better. It just I don't know what it is. It feels like when I look at this, that looks like a lot of headroom clearance to me. Because again, as a 6'2" guy, I like head clearance and I like leg space. Yeah, I'm gonna go navigator. I think that's where I land. I'm thinking about it. I will say I did have a guy I worked with at one point. He had a pretty slick camper van set up um, as his mobile office. Like he had a fixed mailing address that was a PO box because some things just required an actual address, but he was almost never there. Um, which it was kind of cool the setup that he had going because full satellite internet everything, and it is pretty slick. I'm not gonna lie. Navigator's only 16K. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that doesn't look like that bad of a price either, in my opinion. Let's see, we want to do something like apply update. Uh, actually, let's do this. Go binding path update string format. Do something like this, right? We're gonna go here. We're gonna go here. Um, message if he accepts 12K, I'm gonna take it. Yeah, shoot, for 4K, you could probably get that thing set up as a really slick office. I mean, I'm making the assumption that 16K is the budget, but yeah. Yeah, there's something to be said about having a nice place. There's a, if I can find it at some point. I I once took a picture. My wife and I went on a vacation to an Airbnb. It was a literal tree house, as in a small house that was built up in a tree. And it had an absolutely gorgeous view. It was like there's something to be said about just being able to sit there, watch the sunset go down. In this case, over a lake. Like it was pretty cool. It was. It's like yeah, yeah, that feels nice. Yeah, I imagine so. Like I've never torn into them, but the fact that there's already something mounted there, worst case scenario, it's not that big of a deal to get the wall mounts for monitors. And if there was already a screen mounted there before, there should be some amount of support for you to either screw or bolt into. I would suspect. Okay, is it version? What's the name of this thing? Let's see, deltas. Um, so it's gonna be target full release dot version. Okay, so we're gonna do update dot target full release dot version. There. That'll get me that. Apply update. That'll get me into there. Okay, now the questions of this button here. We obviously don't want to show it unless there is an update. So uh button style target type button. And we're just going to base it on the original one. If you do get that built up, Deflux, you should drop pictures. Because I will admit, there is something to be said. No, the other thing is making sure that you get nice, good tinted windows, because that's the other drawback is you got to make sure. Might stream some of it. Oh yeah, yeah. If you do, drop links. Either like one, if I'm online, feel free to drop them, or you can drop them in the Discord as well. That sounds kind of cool. Let's see, style triggers, and then my big head over out of the way. There we go. Let's see. So data trigger, binding update, value against null. So when that's null, we are just going to set the visibility to collapsed. Okay. That one seems fairly simple and straightforward, and I think we could just leave this one here. Yeah, because that's the big thing that I notice whenever I'm using my computer while out and about is I care a great deal about the position of the sun. I don't think I can change the seats though. Yeah. And I think the key phrase is can't change the seats for a reasonable amount of time and money. Everything can be changed for the right amount of time and money. It's just some things aren't worth it. Okay. So let's relaunch this sucker and see what he looks like. This should get pretty close. And we're just build and send this sucker. I think. What do you mean, build airs? No build airs. What did I do wrong here? Oh. Wrong number of prints. Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. It's just like an HDMI plug sitting there. Check for updates. Nothing there. And the other one is hidden because it is because it doesn't have one. I think that works well. Okay, so we have a built app. Now, let's publish the sucker. Okay. Let's see here. I need. Let's see. Material design toolkit. Go here. Main demo. There we go. So .NET publish. Start there. Let's see. Oh, I have to pick a. I guess that is a question. Which target do I want to publish? Probably. Let's just publish the Net 8 one. I don't know if there's a reason for me to publish different ones. Other kinds. Oh, RCA, I think is the terminology there. Analog versus digital. But yeah. You may check and see where yeah, you may check and see how hard it is to if that wire is routed somewhere where you could potentially replace it. Yeah, I'd be looking to run HDMI or better in a lot of cases. Because the RCA is effectively TV screen level, and that's not that many pixels. Let's see. Without specifying a target framework. Is it -R? Can't remember. Net 8. Auto. Windows. What is the switch for specifying the framework? I guess framework, duh. I guess the question will be self-contained or not, but you know what? we're targeting developers who are working on this, so I don't think we're going to go self-contained. I think in this case it's probably very reasonable to assume that developers will be targeting it. If this works, we're going to definitely dump it into my pipelines. Because that feels like something I absolutely. And I'm aware there's a couple open PRs in the material design project that will go merge here in a minute. Okay. So let's do -o publish. Just to keep it up, because right now it's going all the way down into bin. And I kind of like having it up where I can get it. Okay, great. So we've got that. And now we need to do, so I already have VPK. And if I look at the version, I should be running, oh, right. I am running preview build. So if you are following along at home and wanting to do something, when you do the .NET tool install, you do need to be targeting a preview release build, at least at present, right? So 11.26 or better, because I think 10.53 is the latest one all the way out there. Okay, but what in our case, so now that we have a set of artifacts that we want to install, we need to actually build them up. Let's see. VPK pack, and I can't remember the full command. There we go. Let's see. So we need pack ID. And this is important. This must match the pack ID that you created out in Flow. So if it doesn't, it no worky. Okay, so pack ID there. Great. Channel, in our case, is going to be. So I cheated. You'll note I don't technically need a specified channel because I named my channel out here, Win, which also happens to be the default for Windows. So I'm going to be explicit just to make the thing, just to make sure that it works. We're going to go with pack version. This is the, we're going to go 001. Let's see. And then the pack directory is the thing that you want to actually pick up. No. Actor. And I would like it to be publish. There we go. I don't think I need anything else. Oh, we probably are going to need main executable because it'll pick up the main executable when your name matches the main executable. But in our case, our main executable does not match because it's like demo app or something. Let's go look. What is it called? Material design demo exe. Right, so we're gonna have to tell it what exe it's, which is effectively where is the entry point. See where it goes. Right. We're gonna build. We're gonna do the stuff. Yay! We have an installer. Okay. Now if I go, how am I doing this hard way? Explorer open. Thanks. Okay. So if I go in here, the default output directory is called releases. There was an output directory thing if you want to change it. But more importantly, I've got a setup file here. We can test it. Double click. Installer runs. And whoop, we're good to go. Okay. And then more importantly, we have a check for updates. At some point, we may want to make it so it's a little more obvious when there are no updates. But for now, it just does nothing. Sounds reasonable. Okay. So now, next thing we need to do is VPK login. Because in order to push up to Velopack Flow, you must log in. So conveniently, I am logged in as me. Okay, and then it's VPK flow publish, I think is the command. I. Oh, what is the? I believe it's just publish. Why is it not giving me? There's verbose help. Where is it? No, V help. Huh. That feels like a bug. I know there's options in here. I believe it's VPK flow publish. So, but I need to send it push. Okay, so this is the problem with it being hidden commands right now, is it's very difficult for me to find my way into where I want to be. Velopack flow, publish. Yeah. Is it not? Oh, VPK. Oh, there it is. There. Okay, so I just didn't have the right setup. No, where is this thing buried under? Does VPK flow login? Yeah. Oh no, VPK login. Oh, where did I set these things? You can tell I've tested this a lot. Good luck, Izzy. I wish you the best. Enjoy your Friday. Finish the week well. Let's see. Directive Windows, blah, blah, blah. Add, download, upload. Login. Root command, publish. Oh, so it's not. Oh, so it's just. There we go. So the problem was I kept putting the word flow in front of it, which is for the API calls. Okay. It's much simpler than I was making it. All right. So if you are doing it from a pipeline, there are API keys you can generate as well. So we do have, if we go into our team, right? So teams, team, API access, you can gen API keys, right? Currently, API keys are just generated at the team level. They're basically there so that you can do stuff from a pipeline. We've got ideas for more advanced permission sets and whatnot coming, but yeah, that's all we got for now. So we're gonna go there. Okay, so we don't care about that because I logged in. I don't need to worry too much about timeout, but I do need my output directory, which is going to be releases. And then channel, we are going to go with win. And we will just, you know what, let's test the wait for live. I don't feel like I test that enough. So send it. Go, 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 go. Okay. Waiting for release to go live. Release went live. So it went live basically instantaneously. Okay, so now if I go here, I've got an update. So if anybody wants to play along at home, that link, in theory, gets you a download. Oh, but it went. It actually published? It shows published, but it's 404ing. No web page found for the web address. Yeah, this status, I'm wondering if it's lying to me. Because the fact that it went live almost instantly is a bit surprising. Because when you upload a new release, there's a bit of processing that happens in the background. There's a queue and it gets dumped on and stuff happens. The fact that that thing went published immediately surprises me. Oh. The tiered rollout also got set to 0 rather than 100. That's almost assuredly wrong. Because there is a direct link here. The direct link should work regardless. Yeah, so the direct link works, but I delete. All right, so I don't care about the direct link. I want latest link to work. And I'm wondering if the fact that I'm wondering if this tiered rollout bit defaulting to 0 screwed me over. Okay, if I go back to the other link, there we go. There we go. So either the tiered rollout stuff screwed me. Download, come on. Yeah, so either the tiered, okay, so might have to dive into the tiered rollout stuff and why that didn't work properly. Because I am running a version of VPK that didn't like the VPK tooling that I'm running now. Obviously, my other PR hasn't merged, so that tooling isn't sending a value for this. But the default should have been 100% if unset, because it's really everything should default to 100% and dial itself back otherwise. Because the only time you would change it is otherwise. Okay, there we go. So if I fire this up, because I installed it previously locally, if I hit repair, it should go through and do the needful. Apps up and running, right? Check for updates, should do nothing. Okay. Let's test updates. If I go here, I want to do O2. So sudo make me a new one. And then fire in the hole. Because this is what Flow is designed to do. Like this, in my opinion, demos really nicely, right? Like the fact that I can go up arrow, enter, up arrow, enter. My goal is to get it to be even easier than that, because that's 2 commands, and I think I can get it to 1, which would be even better. Right, so now here, right, if I go check for updates, oh, wait a minute, it probably is not going to find any, because if that bug still exists, this guy's going to be at 0%. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Okay, try that again. Look at that, I found an update. And did you see the little badge pop? It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Yay. How'd the rest of the command? And then this button down here didn't get styled nice. But if I click this, I should actually probably have because I'm not showing the installed version. I should put the installed version in. Okay. So we want to show the installed version too, because it's kind of dumb to not show that. Why did this break? Was there an implicit button style in here somewhere? There's a button style that's not being applied appropriately to this one. Yeah, so let's see, text block, text, binding, installed status. We're gonna just do that. Because I think I want to be able to put in something beyond just a version number and say, you know, not installed or similar. But this will also be a good opportunity to test Izzy's comment earlier as well. Durable property. Let's see, private string. Let's see here. Installed status. Go ahead and be nullable for me. And then on startup, what I want to do here is something like, because because this isn't going to change. We can just do this once. If update manager is installed, installed status gets, I guess we can just do the straight version for it. Update manager, current version. I guess we can pattern match this. Is installed true and current version is requires a reference. You got to do your syntax right for it to work. And then this just becomes current version, else, all, not there. Something about like that, right? Now if I launch this sucker, it'll be a good test of Izzy's comment earlier about, hey, if it's installed, what happens here? I clearly have a bug in my API, which is bothering me because I have a significant number of tests. Clearly, I am lacking in at least one. Though I was very disappointed with myself earlier. I found an entire method that had no tests. I was very disappointed in past Kevin. He apparently had a lapse of judgment. Okay, so not installed. Okay, so it is smart enough to know where it's running from. I thought it had some concept of knowing where it was running from. So Izzy, if you're watching this recording, it's not just looking at in the particular location, but the executing assembly has to be inside of that location. I'm gonna look and see why. Yeah, the other one had a nice margin on it. So we're gonna go with 10, 10. Actually, let's do 4. Do 10 and 4. How does that look? Yeah, that's not bad. There, that'll get us in there. And then I kind of want to whack these triggers because I want to trace the style problem too real quick. How did that? Surprised it let me into that method. Like I realized the command. Oh, the reason it let me in it, I was like, it should have had a can apply that was limiting it. Yeah, that only works when you actually have a can execute specified. That doesn't work real well. So you can't just create the method. You actually have to like reference it. Stuff. Okay. Let's close the installed one for the moment. I'm getting confused as to which one I'm launching. But at least now I'll have a... Yeah, so that guy there... What's... Okay, I'm going to grab Snoop. Somebody's doing an implicit style to the buttons inside of this menu, and it's breaking it when try to do a based on. So I'm clearly looking at the wrong based on style. So we're just going to go here and we're going to find what button here. What style are you getting? Implicit style reference. Yeah, what's your key? Implicit style reference keyed on. Huh? That's the key I based my other one on. Right? So I am confused a little bit. Style. Local resource. Window control button. Huh. What? I wonder. It's not something stupid like that, is it? Because if I'm remembering correctly, pop-up box has an implicit style on button. Yeah. Okay. Let's go look at pop-up box because I have a feeling that is where I'm getting hosed. Let's go take a little gander at pop-up box. OPF themes. Show me pop-up box. Okay. Okay, we are. Oh, look at that. Material design pop-up box button. That is what we actually want to be based on. They're not just anticipated seeing something a little different inside of here for triggering it. Okay, but I'm fairly confident if we go here and do this, that will probably get us in a much better place. I just don't want to see the oh, because I need to actually reference that. Pop-up box. Yeah. I hear you. Okay. There. Now that makes some sense, and it is blank because it's expecting the text to be based upon the update item, which is null. So it kind of makes sense. But once we put the trigger back now, I was just looking for that purple background to disappear. Now should collapse. Yeah, great. Okay, so that gets us to there. So now we have that. Now we just come back here and we go, I need to build a new release. Yeah, so we're going to go publish. Probably take the longest. There's my demo app. Okay, that gets me to there. There's the publish, and then VPK pack. We're going to do version 3. Fire it off. This is the installed version, right? So it doesn't have the stuff yet. And then we are going to publish and then go deal with my stupid bug. Figure out what the heck is going on, why it is being a pain in my rear. And you'll note here I have deltas enabled, so it's pulling down the latest, creating a delta between 2 and 3 automatically, and then pushing that delta back up. Because the delta packages are effectively a binary diff of your files, because like between those two things, there's not that much stuff in the deltas, right? Like you can see these delta packages are tiny, right? 21K, 58K, 21K. Like these two were not doing anything major with it, but this one here is literally just a tiny little file, right? Not a lot there. So when the updates seem to occur really fast, it's because it downloads a delta. It's like, yeah, it applies really fast because there's not a lot of data to apply there. Things go quick when that happens. Okay, so now if I go here, I go check for updates. Oh wait, nope, you gotta go. We're gonna have to go out here, go back to my releases, and I'm gonna have to fix that obnoxious bug. Oh look, found it immediately. Great. Update. Ooh, it did an update. What did it grab? Check for updates. Which version did you download? This is the version that it's going for. Oh. We might have a different bug. See, this is why I need to test this crap. What did it hit? What did it hit? Let's... We're going to start with something. We're going to start with something a little benign here real quick. I don't know how Fiddler plays. So let's do this. So if I go check for updates, turn capturing off, show me my Velopack. This is what it pulls. So here's the manifest, right, which is just a JSON file, which not shockingly, we see the delta and full packages for all three versions. Great. So that much aligns with what we expect. If I hit this button, let's see, I'm looking for the other call. I don't see the other call to API. I sort of anticipated to seeing another call there. Run it one more time. Check for updates. The fact that I'm not seeing a second call go out the door is kind of concerning to me because I expected a second call. I absolutely expected a second call to go through there. What is biting me? What is biting me here? Oh, did I? Hold on. I'm an idiot. Update manager. You don't download the update, it's not going to do anything. Okay. Yeah. So you should actually download the update. Otherwise, it's just going to reapply the same update over and over and over. This is interesting though, because I'm wondering if this should actually raise an exception. Like on one hand, doing like if you attempt to apply an update that you haven't downloaded, I'm kind of wondering if that should throw an exception at you. It's weird that it doesn't. I'm trying to think if there's a use case for like wanting to reapply an update where that might matter. I don't know that it does. Okay, well, regardless, we got to come here. And now we have to rebuild. And I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go and do something bad. I'm going to just blow away each of these releases since now that I know that they're wrong. Delete. Blow these guys out. Why are you there? Because now I can republish the same. Okay, so add that to my list. On a delete, it's not auto refreshing the list. Should fix that. Okay. Okay, so that gets us back to there. In fact, I think I actually know where the line of code is that doesn't refresh the list. But that means I can now come back here and I can republish as 0, but I'm going to blow this whole thing away first because I don't want it seeing any of the existing stuff. Okay. Then we're going to publish. So that's saying because the package ID is remaining the same and the channel name remains the same, that old link will actually work again. You'll note here when it gets to downloading the Delta, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that goes there. And now we should have an updated release here. Great, which obviously the threshold problem is a problem still. Okay. But now we should be able to take the original link and say, give me the download. MDIX. Come on. Aren't you there? No release links available. That's concerning. Didn't you publish? Ah, okay. I need to be taking notes. Okay, so bugs that I found. Delete doesn't refresh grid. Status does not reflect and actually ready because we have two states between draft and publish, but there's one that's the user requested state and then there's the actual state, and I just think we aren't showing it. Is it here? Yeah, and I feel like status is looking at the user requested publish, not whether it's actually ready or not. And so we probably just need to change that. Okay, so now you should refresh and actually install something. Yep. Great. Keep. Yep. Keep anyway. Trust me. We do have, for those people interested in dodging all of that stuff, there is some really cool code signing stuff. So the Azure Trusted Signing stuff is absolutely awesome, right? So if you want to do code signing, Azure Trusted Signing is a very cost-effective method of doing so. Unless you're going to do a ridiculous amount of signing, for most people, the pricing is going to be $10 because you have to do more than 5,000 signatures a month before you need to move off of basic. For most people, you are not doing 5,000 signatures a month, right? And after that, it's half a penny per signature. Like, this is dirt cheap. The other big advantage is if you sign with Microsoft's Trusted Signing, you dodge UAC prompts in Windows. The reason they're able to do that is they do make you go through an identity validation process, effectively making sure that you aren't going to be a scammer or otherwise. So that's how you're able to dodge UAC, is because they've actually, done a little bit of due diligence on you. So it's not something you can just set up immediately. It takes there is a outside process there that you have to go through, but once it's set up, super easy, super nice. Right? Most of these setup, like this setup here, a lot of this is one time only. And then the key thing is you just need this JSON file, and you're good to go. And then you can start signing all your apps. So anybody looking to sign, that is the way to do it. Okay, so we're going to close this. And then I would like to run this setup. And then it's because I'm running something that's already installed, I'm going to just hit the repair to force the install. Okay, now we should have obvious. Okay, so we got the version number there. Check for updates. Great. Okay, so let's go back here. We're going to test the update path again. Then let's publish it. Oh yeah, that was the other. Wait for live. Doesn't appear to be properly. There we go. Okay, so that guy's live. Oh, and then obviously tiered rollout defaulting to 0. Okay. So there's that. We're going to just drag that sucker up. And then we can kind of tell when the thing is actually ready because we're going to actually get release links. Right? When it actually has the files processed. Come on. We go back here and I go check for updates. Thinking. Taking a while. My queuing in the background is working on it. Yeah, that status I think is the user requested status, not the actual status, which I think is at one point we renamed those, and so I'm willing to bet there's just a bug there. There. Now we actually have the thing. Make it. Updates also appear to be setting. Okay. So now it actually processed all the uploads through. We've got this. That's there. Now, check for update. Here we go. Ooh. String format down here did not work properly. I'm a little surprised. Huh. Wonder why that isn't appropriately showing apply update, but if I do that, then hopefully this thing shows. Did not show 02. Why? Why do you not show appropriately? Okay, so I want to go in here, and I'm just going to new up one of these things just for the purpose of seeing it work. Let's see. Let's see. Velopack asset, and this guy is going to need a version on him. Version gets semantic version, parse, 1, 2, 3. Is downgrade false. That should give me something to look at debug mode. See why. Oh, and this didn't work because I didn't. Idiot again. Because you have to and wait for the download to complete before you just hit go. Yeah, feels buggy. Why aren't you displaying the... Oh, I know what it is. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Okay, so this is actually a good learning moment. So when you see a binding like this, where you've applied a string format, but it clearly isn't rendering without the string format, inside of WPF, the string format only applies to the binding when the target property is a string. The problem, button content isn't a string. Button content is an object because you can put arbitrary content inside of buttons. You could have a grid with like icons and stuff in it. So don't be like me. Smarter. So the kind of the easy workaround here is you just do this. Right? So inside of here, rather than fighting with it, we just throw in a text block and say, here, let me help you. Right? Like there. That should now render properly because the text property of a text block is of type string, which actually should now work properly. Might have to go trying to decide if I blow away that thing or not. There we go. So apply update 123. There we go. See, I don't know if that's too long or not. Guess we can do this. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe a little long for the text. And technically, like in your app, you can decide if you want to separate the download and the apply into something else. Like these are just method calls. Put them where they make sense. Yeah, it makes it a little wider, but that's kind of okay. I think that's okay. And the other thing we could do is rather than making it an explicit check, like we could call the check for updates, you know, every so often, right? We could put a timer on it. We could do it on startup. We could do all kinds of stuff. For now, we're going to leave it like that, but I'm going to take away my update setter there. Get rid of that for the moment. Okay, so now I need to rebuild. I think, do I reset it back to 0? Nah, we'll leave it. We'll leave it. We're going to have to go download the explicit update, though. I guess we don't have to download it. Push it. All right, so now let's clean up our mess. Close that. So delete release 02, delete, delete 01, delete. Don't like that doesn't update. There's kind of a principle of most annoyance. That's the bugs I fix first. Okay, so we're going to do that. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go remove programs. And then this should have the MDIX demo app. Uninstall. Uninstall. Boom. There. Let's see. No. So it is just freaking out because I didn't blow away my assets previously. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. Here we go. Back again. This time, V1. Okay. Publish. I think at minimum, I'm going to put a branch out there with this on there and then use it for my testing for a while, but I may end up merging this into master. So probably ping the other guys in the group and make sure nobody has major concerns about me doing that. Okay, so let's grab I guess we can just go here, can't we? Yeah, so keep that. Yep. Anyway. Come on. Do your virus scan. Come on. Scan it and figure out that it's fine. Thank you. Okay. We're on version 1. Okay. Make version 2. And then publish. Okay. Deltas. Everything goes live. Great. And then check for update. Oh, wait. Keep getting bit by this. Like this guy didn't get turned on, but it didn't matter because the link still put it out. Let's see. Latest link. I guess that actually makes sense because if you don't send an ID, it just always has to give it back to you. It's only on the update checks. There we go. Now you should get an update. There we go. Download and apply update 02. There we go. 02 in the update screen. There we are. Finally, that was harder than it should have been. Though, arguably, some of them are bugs caused by me. Okay, so quick rehash. All right, so if we look at material design, what did I end up doing here? All right, so there's a handful of things. We are putting me back on the left, where I'm not blocking things. So main window view model. I don't think we need this anymore. Check that. I think it's, yeah, that was only there when we needed to do the semantic version parse. Okay, Velopack using statements. Did not save it? Nope. There we go. Okay, so that there. We do a little check at the beginning, create a new update manager, and then we've got our commands and properties for doing the updates. Great. Okay, main window, we did the badge to be able to show it, automatically hiding it. We did a text block with the status and the buttons. All of that worked great. Okay, we had to change up our main method to be able to do it. And then going right along with that was this guy here actually setting a main method and doing the Velopack build run, because that's the bootstrap line that we need to have to actually kick Velopack in gear. Let's see. We revved NuGet packages. So a bunch of those things all revved. Okay. So go here and go Velopack flow. I feel like there's enough issues that I want to fix that I'm not going to publish this immediately. Again, though, if anybody wants to play with Velopack Flow, I would absolutely love any and all feedback that you want to throw at me. Adding Velopack Flow for demo app. Anybody wants to grab this guy, him there. Let's see. Let's push after committing. That's not the right one. Okay, so we're gonna push it there. Let's get these PRs in, because I think most of these are probably pretty good. Let's see. Fix small discrepancy with filled versus outline styles. Let's see. Take me to the thing, because if I remember right, this one had. Well, this is draft. Let's come back to the one. Come back to the ones that are draft. Okay. Fixed minor issue with the corner radius and the default. Oh yeah, look at that. Corvins, that is awesome. Easy approve. Easy approve. Squash merge. Oh, wait. Wait. Do that. Confirm squash merge. Confirm squash merge. And then, so text field corner radius was not applied correctly to the numeric up down. Ah, yep. That looks very much like a bug. I imagine it's just moving it. Let's see here. So corner radius being applied to the background so it actually gets applied properly. And minor white space changes. Yeah, that's fine. Not overly concerned with the white space changes. Let's see here. That in. Squash merge, squash merge. Oh, I wanted to double check. This thing here actually had. Oh, because the release here is built from local, the NuGet package versions are going to be wrong. Let's see here. So this bug here is. Let's see. Null checks for autocomplete box. Oh. Yeah. That definitely looks like a bad idea. Yeah. Okay. Yep. This is absolutely a bug. Okay. So we're gonna drop this off, and we're gonna make this a bug. Yeah. So let's go here. Let's look at the check. Is it just a null propagation, or how did we do it differently? Okay. Yes. Good. This is what I was hoping to see. Because in general, if you're doing a dot equals like this, I see this happen a lot, and I might be responsible for this one. So hopefully it wasn't past Kevin because he's an idiot. But things like dot equals are really easy to mess up on, especially with like strings. I see this happen a lot where people will just do dot equals on a string, and then you get bit by null. Now, string is a special case where there's a static method to be able to do it. In this case, it's object. And so secretly, this is the static equals method that lives down on the base object class. This is a much better check. Let's just verify that we've got the same logic in here. So let's see. So on selection changed. So it just brought this thing inside. And this is so this is what's called a self-unregistering event handler. So we declare it, we add it, and then it unregisters itself afterwards. So knowing full well that this is about to come through. I do wonder, this is pretty much guaranteed to fire because we've just done this equals check. I was just worried about the with self-unregistering handlers, you want to make real certain that they do fire, otherwise you register and they just hang out for a while. But that's pretty, I mean, that's the same logic as what was in there before. This looks fine. This looks fine. Let's see, and I'm gonna put labels, release notes on this, and then we're gonna put milestone, approve run, and then enable auto merge, and then that one can go. Cool. Now, I see Corvin's is the checklist. So Oh, good. Okay, sweet. I look forward to reviewing that one. Okay, so that gets all of that through. Now I'm going to sleep, and then tomorrow, more Velopack, because I know I have a list of bugs to go and fix. So that doesn't make me feel good, but it's nice seeing it work. And again, if anybody wants to powwow on it, please do. Please absolutely use it, love it. We're hoping to start putting people onto betas on Velopack Flow as early as next week. So if you want in, please jump in. And then again, for people who are testing, just hit me up with anything that you find, or if you've got issues. Like, we are absolutely looking for feedback, and similar. So yeah, do be aware that if you start testing it in like the next 24 hours after the stream goes live, I am like actively hacking on everything. So my bad if I screw something up. So because we don't technically have production people on it yet, so I'm taking the liberties of being a little fast and loose with pushing stuff. So because it's probably going to be my last chance to do that before I have to be careful and stuff. So with that, I will tell everybody thank you for coming and hanging out. Deflux, good luck on the mobile office. Hopefully it'll be pretty cool. So yeah, if you do stream it or whatever, definitely drop links. For anybody who hasn't seen it, check out Velopack, velopack.io. I think it is cool. With that, happy coding. See y'all next time.